Hola a todos de Días de Rock. Yo soy Kiko Loureiro, and I decided to answer here in MP3 the interview. I'm on the road now, so it's a bit easier for me. So, and it's more natural, I believe so. So let's see. I'm just gonna, do as an old style. I'm gonna read the questions and answer for you guys. Yes, we're celebrating 20 years of the DVD now. We did in São Paulo in August 2013. The show was, if we change it, of course we changed a lot. When I did the demo tape for Angra, I was 19, and now I'm 41. The album was released. I was 21. Now I'm 41. Of course, a lot of changes. As a person, and of course as a band. And the band, changed the lineup as well. A lot of experiences. So of course, I changed a lot as a musician. And I grew a lot, but the main elements and the same passion and the willing to to do something good and to bring good music for the people and for us is always there. Yeah, the musicians. Yes, I personally did a tour with Tada, two tours with Tada, and I recorded some acoustic guitars in her first solo album. It's an album is called My Winter Storm, and then Angra did a tour. Actually, Nightwish was an opening act for Angra in Japan years ago. Believe I don't remember now, like 2006 or something in Japan in a tour, and then we met Talia for first time there. She was still in Nightwish, and then when she left, she was always into Angra, and then she asked me to record some stuff for her, and then I did two tours, long tours with her. So I was quite, I can consider her quite a friend, and then was one of the first names we had in mind to invite. Uli John Roth, I met him in a guitar summer camp in Germany a few years ago as well, and then I asked him. We was a few days together. We were teaching in a summer camp in Frankfurt, in Aschaffenburg, and then our manager too. He used to manage Scorpions in South America, and he did shows with Uli there too. So we had like a quite close relation. So was not a big problem. We invited some other musicians. We tried some other people, but it didn't work because a live album is a specific date. The person has to be there, so it's not easy. It's different than when we have guests for a studio album that the person can record something at home and send the files. So much easier to have guests in a studio album than in a live DVD. When you have a specific date, the person has to be, and it was in Brazil, so it's not easy. But we were very lucky that they both could do it. We decided to do DVD because the promoters, everything was very fast. Actually, we did a show with Fabio in the United States in January in 2013, and then just to fill up the Edu's, just to replace Edu for that show, and everything went great. We were very satisfied with Fabio, not as a singer only, because of course we knew that he would be a great singer, but as a person and the vibe of the band, everything felt really, really comfortable and very good. So what happened was we decided to do another shows with him, and the promoters and some fans in South America, they were very interested to listen this combination of Fabio with Angra. And what happened, like a lot of promoters started asking to do the shows, and then uh, the shows were sold out in many places. And then we took a very fast decision to record a DVD in the last show of the tour. It was not a long tour; it was like 13 concerts. And then the last one would be in São Paulo, which is our city, so it would be easier to organize this DVD. So we did a DVD, and then everything was building up, during the tour, like the relationship with Fabio, and now we're really like into composing some stuff with Fabio to try to record a studio album with him. Yeah, the next question here. Um, how do I see my career? Well, if I think like in the long term, there was like I'm really fortunate to have a musician's career. I remember doing like a biology university, and I was not sure about that. I could be a musician and have a musician life and be an artist, and I traveled so many countries and met so many people. I can say I have a very very interesting life, and then a very rich life, and I think I'm very fortunate that I can live in very good conditions. Playing guitar, that was something that I loved. It's something that I started when I was like very young, when I was like 11, and then I believe I'm very fortunate because of that. And then with Angra, we did a great albums, and we have a lot of fans in many countries, and I'm really proud of what we did and things that we're doing, like this DVD still. Or I have solo albums. I collaborate with many other artists. So yeah, I think it's and I still have fun doing what I do. And then I think that's the main thing when you do something that you can't imagine not doing that. So I don't think much about the career, or how many hours I practice guitar, or how many hours I play, or how many hours we have to rehearse, or things like this. Now I'm here in US in a tour for my solo album, and then it's quite tough actually, because the weather is minus 13, it's super cold outside, and long distances in US and all this. But in the end, we don't think much, because that's what we are in the end. And when you do something that you really, really like, that you love, and it becomes part of your identity, you are what you do, and then you don't think much about it. If I think Angra is a constant progression, no. Angra has like some ups and downs. Is a band of 20 years, more than 20 years. And then if you take a look in any uh, band, any band that has more than 20 years, you're gonna see a lot of ups and downs and lineup changes. It's gonna be very very few bands that has the same lineup. Maybe Rush or U2. I don't know. I cannot mention many bands that has like the same lineup for long periods. So we had a lot of difficulties, and then the difficulties sometimes it's not when people think you're living the difficulties. Sometimes, like when you do like a great album, or you're doing a nice tour, you're living the difficulties. Like internal difficulties inside the band. Relationship. That's the most tough. The most tough thing in a band is like the inside relationship. It's not how many albums you sell or how many people is in the concert. This is not the point in the end. Because if you have a very good relation relationship with the guys. You can have fun in playing a small club. That's not a big deal, But it's tough when you're doing a tour and then things are, horrible among the band, and then somebody leaves the band and things like this. That's bad. So I think it's a lot of ups and downs in the relationship inside the band, even with the guy. I have like Raphael with me. We play since we were 17, and then we have a very good relation. So we're really proud of what we built together. Let me see the next one. Yeah, about the goals. Yeah, I think we achieved a lot of goals that I would never imagine. Even if you look when we were like 20, and then we have that, start writing some songs, and we went to Germany to record an album with the producer Charlie Bauerfeind. We have no idea, no experience at all, and then we did an album, and then suddenly we were gold disc in Japan. And then our lives were the same back there in Brazil. And then we were like gold disc in Japan, going, front covers of different magazines. And then we started doing some shows in Europe. And for a guy that was, wouldn't have a chance to travel around the world, there was something way beyond the goals I had in mind when I was young, And I'm still like that, like traveling, and now it's a bit more like part of my life. So if I go to different places, if I do a big show, if I do a well-paid show or something like this, it's just part of my life. I know things like this has been happening for 20 years. So yeah, so I'm really happy with the things that we achieved. All right, this I think we had our goals back then. I don't know your questions. You feel like I'm trying to think in the whole career, in general, the Angra period. But the goals we have like quite huge dreams because if you look in the perspective, of course, I have one perspective, with this: I'm a Brazilian, and then we play heavy metal, singing in English in the country that plays mainly samba and other kinds of music, and rock is not at all part of our culture. So it's like really doing something completely different in Brazil to have a rock band that you sing in English. So like you're just asking to fail. Any marketing guy would say, "You're gonna fail, man. Please do a lyrics in Portuguese, or please do some percussion, do something else, but this is not gonna work." And actually, we could find, we set our goals. Okay, we're gonna try to do something out of Brazil. That's why we sing in English, because in Brazil it's not gonna work. And actually, this worked because we were gold disc right in the beginning in Japan, in a country that we had no idea, and we traveled to Japan maybe like 5 years after the gold disc, when we felt that we were prepared to go to Japan to do a show in the same level as people would imagine the band was. So we had our goals, and then of course sometimes it works, sometimes not, but actually a lot of stuff that we achieved that we never could imagine. Do you feel fulfilled in aspect? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like as a Brazilian, like in Brazil, I'm, people take me as a reference, take Angra as a reference. All the rock guys, all the rock players, they really take Angra as a reference. Their dream would be as Angra, to have a band like Angra, or to play in Angra. Of course, being a Brazilian, and we had a lot of difficulties in the sense that it's not a country that has a lot of possibilities for management or like a really huge structure like US or maybe some countries, like Germany, that has a lot of professionals for this kind of music, studios, producers, managers, booking agencies. The Brazilian market is not set for that. So we had always to go to other countries and to deal with people from other countries and get to know them from a distance. And when Angra started in the 90s, you had to talk to these people by phone or by fax. So it was a bit more complicated. So I think if we would be a band from US or from Europe somehow, would be easier, probably. I don't know, but I have this impression. So I think if you ask me how I could improve, I think all this, the business part, the management part, would be great since the beginning if you had something a bit more professional, because in Brazil we never felt that was really professional. Now we have a very good manager. He's Mexican and he lives in Brazil, and so he helped us a lot to make this year go so fast from just a cruise in the US in January to a few months later to have a tour with the new singer and do a DVD and release this DVD worldwide and all this. So the management, I think, is really, really important, and that's something that we have to improve. And then when you have this management taking care of a lot of stuff, the musicians, the artists, they can take care more about the music, compose more, have a better relationship between them, because you're not dealing with all the stuff that you're not sure about, and you have to learn how to do it. So I think it's always what we always felt that we could improve would be in this management side. The artist side, we always were very proud of what we did. Well, the metal scene in Brazil is interesting. There's a lot of great musicians, a lot of great bands, but it's still something like Sepultura is like they were the pioneers going abroad. Before Sepultura, or during the 80s, there was a lot of bands, even some bands singing in Portuguese, but the structure of the market and all this, the management and place to play, record labels, that was very small. So nothing happened. And Sepultura, they could do it. And then Angra just a few years after. So, and it's still a bit like that. We have other great bands, like Torture Squad, or, some other bands they do internationally. Crisium, more heavier stuff, but still like Angra Sepultura being the two bands. If you take countries like Finland, for instance, and then you have like a country with 5 million people, and they have at least 10, 15 international and great bands, at least. And then Brazil have like 200 million people, and you have two bands, or four bands playing internationally. So this shows what I'm talking about the style of music that the Brazilians like, and how difficult it is for the management side and all this to make it happening from Brazil. What does the future hold for Angra? Well, now we're releasing this DVD and we're composing. We want to start composing for the new album. That's the plans. We have Hellfest. We have many great festivals coming in March. We like a huge festival in Japan, Hell and Heaven. We have festivals in South America, Argentina, Ecuador, more shows in Brazil. South America has been a very good place for us to play. And then we're playing Hellfest in France in June. And hopefully some other festivals gonna be announced soon for 2014, summer of 2014. I'd love to come back to Spain and play a few festivals there, as we did in the past, and do a tour. I don't know, but luckily we're gonna do that soon. and then now it's gonna be the compositions in a new album to to put our music for the people. We still love to compose. Uh, Actually, the older we get, or the older I get, I feel more like a composer than a live performance guy. Although I really like to play to people and to perform with my guitar, but I feel more like I really have fun spending time creating music. So this year is gonna be really focused in creating music, recording it, and doing these big festivals and shows like that. So thank you very much for the questions, Dias de Rock, and well, see you later. Okay, bye bye.